Hello everyone, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be going over the most recent sneak peek and discussing a few things about it, comparing it to the last sneak peek and looking at how this possibly is going to be the new Prowler variant, discussing possibly what it could be. And then we're going to take a look at some new data mines / information we've got for some new paints that'll be coming probably with the next patch 4.2. We have some additional items and some other various bits and bobs that we're going to go through. So let's go ahead and get into it. So like I said, we're going to start with looking at the sneak peek. So first, I will throw up the sneak peek from last Friday that we have. This was the first teaser that we got for this assumed new Asperia Prowler variant. This picture is, I believe it's the bottom of the ship towards the rear tail section of it. There's kind of the circle things are, I think they're like either thrusters or something like that. There's some little other design language cues that people found that it's for sure the Prowler. I think some people thought possibly it's, just a skin for it, because obviously it's a different color than the base Prowler. But given the most recent teaser that we have gotten, I think it is safe to say that it is not just a skin, it is definitely a variant. So now let's take a look at the one from today, and then we'll talk about some different theories as to what this could be. All right, so now I'll put up the sneak peek from today. So this, when I first saw it, because of the red lighting and stuff, immediately I thought like QED potentially, because a lot of ships that have the QED, they have kind of that, they have some area on the ship that's kind of red, pulsating. It kind of looks alien a lot of the time when you see it. Now, after looking at it some more, I don't think that's what this is. I don't know entirely on what the role is. I've heard people speculate, I think mainly two possibilities for what this could be. One, if they could possibly modify it so it's capable of being sort of a drop ship, but for Atlas Ictes. So maybe it can carry 4 of them or something, like 2 on each side, and they can open up. There's some little doors that can open up and they can jump out. I've heard that possibility. And then the other one is possibly a stealth kind of a gunship sort of thing. Some more turrets, heavier weaponry, heavier shielding potentially, but in a stealth ship, a stealth alien ship. So we don't really have anything like that. We don't have that many alien ships to begin with. So those are the two, I think, leading theories as to what this possibly could be. Could be something else. I don't really know. I personally would prefer, if I had a choice in it, I would love to see the kind of stealth gunship sort of thing. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, we'll have to see for sure what ends up happening. But one thing I did want to point out, so I'll put up a different image now. This is, someone took a side-by-side of the, I think it's the nose of the current Prowler, you'll see on the right. And then on the left, we can see the sneak peek. And from there, you can see pretty clearly this is probably the nose or the cockpit area of the new Prowler variant. So it definitely looks quite spruced up compared to the normal Prowler. We got the skin in the background, it looks kind of like a metallic purple, at least from what I can tell, compared to like this base sort of grayish slight blue with the base Prowler. But all I can say is it looks really, really cool, and I'm very excited for whatever it ends up being. So if you have any ideas on what this potentially could be, I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments. All right, so then the other main thing we're going to take a look at in this video is there was some new information that came out of the Pipeline Leaks Discord, some new things that have been data mined. There's been some paints, some other like statues and other items. So we're going to go through these and talk about them. So this is added localization strings. So there's some different statues. There's a Hurston statue, which is a brushed bronze scale replica of the statue commemorating the late Archibald Hurston, former CEO of Hurston Dynamics, that can be seen prominently displayed in the Lorville Central Business District. So I don't know if these are going to be just some new, just kind of new flavor items, to kind of spruce up some of the landing locations, some new statues and such things. There seems to be one for a couple of different, the main landing zones in Stanton, and then there's some other ones as well. So we have an ArcCorp 1-2, a miniaturized version of Memphis Avery's iconic sculpture displayed in Area 18's plaza, representing the innovative and aesthetic nature of ArcCorp's technology. Then we have a new Babbage statue, which is this replica of the holographic centerpiece at the infamous Wally's Bar in New Babbage, features warm oranges and yellows that evoke the feeling of a tropical sunset in your personal habitat. And then for Orison, we have with careful attention to detail, the scaled down version of the famed Until Again sculpture that graces Orison's skyline captures the majesty and grace of the endangered storm wall. So again, I'm not 100% sure what that is, if it's just some new, sort of landing zone decorations or something. Maybe it's something that we can loot or find. I don't know. But there's those couple of statues, and then we'll go through some other things that we have mentioned in here. So next we have a Gladius model stand or something. This exquisitely detailed Gladius model honors the light fighter that's been protecting the UEE for centuries. Soaring above a stand featuring the UEE logo and ship's name, the Dunleavy variant of the Gladius was crafted to honor Captain Alexandra Dunleavy, who shaped the course of the Navy's elite Squadron 42. That would hopefully be something that maybe we can, again, loot. Maybe it's an event reward or some other like reward we can get maybe from Wicklow or something. Something that's part of another mission reward. I'd love to see something like that though, because just little things like that every now and then instead of just money. It's a nice little extra thing you can get as a nice reward. And next we have something that's not a statue or anything. It's a new item that I did mention this briefly in my previous video when we went through the latest PTU patch. But there is a new consumable medical device. It is called the Decon Pen Extra, XTRA. That's from Cure Life and delivers a rapid injection of both candiotide and hemosol to not only treat radiation exposure, but also improve a patient's overall vitals, getting patients stabilized faster than ever. So I did end up trying this. So basically it combines a med pen and a normal decon pen, so you get both healing of the healing of radiation and healing of just your health overall. So I think especially at the Lazarus location sites, those will be really useful if you're outside in really radioactive areas, and if you don't maybe have a radiation suit, those could be extremely useful. So the kind of a 2-in-1, you get a lot more use out of the slots you have for med pens available to you. So really looking forward to finding those and using those more once the patch goes live. And then we have descriptions of a few more interesting stands or statues or something like that. So first, we have a Big Benny Rank 100, a replica of the original Big Benny's vending machine, designed to bring a nostalgic touch to any environment. And then we have a life-size Van Duel statue. Based on the original model used as military propaganda after the UEE's first encounter with the Van Duel in 2681, this towering figure serves as a somber reminder of the unrelenting destructive nature of the Van Duel species. Really cool. Hopefully, it's a little thing. It's not going to be the actual Van Duel creatures, but it'll be kind of a little, you can kind of see them a little bit. And then once we get the squadron, we'll actually be able to probably interact, you'll fight them and things like that. And then finally on this, we have the Navy pilot statue, originally commissioned for the UEE Navy Recruitment Center in New York City on Earth. Spirit of the Starman proudly displays an unnamed pilot, serving as a reminder of the solidarity and sacrifice the Empire's military demonstrate every day as they serve as guardians of freedom and justice and champions of honor and valor. Again, another possibly cool thing we might be able to get, makes you think, oh, I'm going to be that in Squadron, in a year and a half, whenever it comes out. So just a nice little thing that I'm looking forward to seeing in the game. So then next we have a short vehicle description for the Argo Atlas ICT RAD. So I mentioned this in my previous video. They are now differentiating the version of the ICT that you can find at the Lazarus locations as its own sort of little variant, because it apparently has some additional little stuff on it to help combat the distortion and the radiation and all that sort of things. But the description for it is taking an Argo Atlas modified for combat by the Banu merchant Wicklow. ASD has made further adjustments to the power suit so that it's better able to survive the deadly radiation storms on Pyro 1. So they said that the only way you'll be able to get that one is at these facilities. I don't know that there's really going to be an easy way to get them out of there, but you will be able to get them there, and then there'll be other versions of it that, and this one does not have the jump pack. So if you want the ICT Geo that has the jump pack, that's what you'll have to get from Wicklow himself, which will require bunch of different materials from some worm things and all those sorts of good stuff, but just a nice little differentiation for that specific version at those new sites. And then now we can take a look at some new paints. So there are a bunch of new paints for the Freelancer, all of the Freelancers. So the base, the Dur, the Miss, and the Max. I don't know entirely why specifically the Freelancer, but there's a bunch of different ones. So I'll throw them up here. So the first ones that I'll show you is there's kind of a tan looking one. It only shows the Max specifically, but there is one for all the other versions. So kind of this tannish yellowy orange with some yellow and orange and a little bit of white accents on it. And then we have a black and red one. It looks like similar to kind of the black and red theme paints that we had during Invictus. Maybe a little bit, maybe not quite as dark of a red, but definitely a similar style on that paint. And then finally on there there's a white with some red accents. So some more paints for your Freelancer if you want that. And then we have something very, very interesting that is a bit unexpected, I would say, for this ship. This one, I do have a picture for all 4 of the variants, so I'll try and put those up here for you. But it seems that the Freelancer is going to be getting a Star Kitten skin for all of the different variants. So you can see that here. You got the pink, the turquoise, and all that sort of good stuff. So I'm sure there'll be a kit you can buy the outfit with this paint and all those sorts of things. So I'd love for them to make a Star Kitten Idris and then a Javelin at some point. That would be really fun. Maybe even a Polaris. I think we need some more Star Kitten skins. You know, definitely we need one for the Perseus as well when that comes out. So if you like the Star Kitten stuff, and you happen to also like the Freelancer, then you will have a Star Kitten Freelancer skin to get probably during Alien Week or something like that. So, or, you know, whenever the patch goes live. So just a little extra thing there that you might be interested in. And then finally, we have 2 more paints. So one is going to be for the Storm, and the other is for the Mirai Pulse. Now, these are apparently referral paints, so I don't know if that means, like, if you get a referral, you get these 2 paints, or, like, you get the vehicle and the paint, or I don't know entirely. Or maybe you get 1 referral, you get the Pulse paint, and maybe you get 2 referrals, or 3, you get the Storm paint. I don't know. But these are some other new paints. It looks like they're kind of a dark gray with maybe a little bit of a gold accent on them, so they look nice. I'm looking forward to seeing those in the game. Hopefully be able to get those. But yeah, those are all the new paints and all the new data mine information that I have. So if you have any thoughts on any of it, feel free to let me know in the comments. Are you planning on picking up a Star Kitten paint for your Freelancer or anything else like that? But that's going to do it for this one. Again, if you have any thoughts, just let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more Star Citizen news and update videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well, as we'll definitely have more to check out as we get closer to 4.2 going live, and of course, moving beyond that. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I will see you in the verse.